all of these diseases?
I'm pretty sure having sex with men is less weird than having sex with your brat, but come on. I know you like fucking goats, but...
You Canadian retard?
Yeah,
again, you suck, Brad. You suck bear nuts.
Not even close to being funny, dude.
How do you even fucking do, Brad? I'd love to know.
Hey, you want to know how uneducated lefties are?
Welcome back to another episode of Low IQ Dumb People talking about nothing on Clown House, wasting all their time because I got nothing better to do. So it's just a bunch of birds chirping. It's like a pecking order of stupidity. You're all live on Clown House, over 3,000 people.
Okay, let's not divert. Hold on, sugar belly. Let's address the points. No, let's not get diverted by billionaire. Let's not get diverted by billionaire.
I waited for
You're diverting to billionaire. I asked specific questions.
I'm trying to answer your question, so you need to let me answer your question. Okay?
Okay. You said rich, not billionaire, not you said rich. Okay, let's add.
This room's called Nigerian Men Scooping Up Ugandan Women. Who's next? A sugar belly.
Some people would rather go for their pain to the drug dealer instead of the pharmacist. You know what I'm saying? So it's not really different what you're saying. Anybody that gets into
This is called
heavy pain and
Are We Moors, Israelites, American Indians, or Africans?
whatever the fuck they think is gonna get rid of that pain. Even
If you were in heavy pain, what would be the problem?
This house is called The Non-Believers.
I think you missed the point, bro. You missed the whole fucking point like a dickhead. Like you want to be a square.
There is no point. You're talking silly.
Bro. Hey, shut up, man. Shut up with all that. We just having a conversation, bro. Like, you know, saying a battle.
That fake Hebrew is like this for peace, right? I forgot.
Welcome back to another episode of Low IQ Dumb People talking about nothing, wasting all their time every day on Clown House. It's unbelievable they're so bored and lonely.
Right back down there to the goop. You brought your bitch ass up in here. Motherfuckers want this ain't no motherfucking, this ain't a battle of information. Like, nigga, we just sharing information. You ain't gotta agree with it. Go look this shit up.
But you dealing with folks who rather argue from
peanut butter porter is the one that it's long route peanut butter porter.
That's another one. It's got strict of bird shit and then financial banking products.
Hello, moderators. I'd like to address the title of the room and let you all know that this reciprocation tariff is the best news for we, the people of America, that has ever happened. Donald Trump has set the precedent for countless generations so that we can have equilibrium and balance and sound moral financial currency in this country. I believe that gold is going to make a big comeback and that our dollar is going to be tied to gold and we're going to pay down the debt. Business is going to come rushing in. Japan, China, India, even Russia are going to invest trillions of dollars. Wealth creation will become incredible. You think the bubble's big now. Just wait till we flood it with outside currency. Just wait till people from all around the world give us $5 million so they can pay us income taxes. We're going to bait and switch them too. Trust me. We are going to make so much money. This is the first day of liberty. This is the first day of liberty. The revolution is now. Donald Trump is our MAGA Orange King and Elon Musk is his wizard. Oh, they kicked me. That was the Bitcoin room. I'm only on the stage because I was in the room last night. So literally 12 hours later, I was still on the stage.
The message, right, is to avoid this. You're gonna bow to Christ, whether he has to break your kneecaps. It's just
You do so lovingly. You'll use
No,
a
it's
that
this
doesn't hurt so
idea.
much or the pain won't be felt.
It's, it's not this idea that you will bow. It's just that, like, you will because God is that amazing that he'll win everyone over to him. That, like,
Здесь sales tax, разъездом ездят.
За то, что у них есть возможность в этой стороне, за то, что у них есть в этой возможность в этой стране учиться, работать, получать деньги.
Не, учиться налоги нам, да.
Получать здравоохранение, не знаю, и так далее, в разных странах.
Ну, у нас не так, да.
Именно,
в общем, да.
Ну, неважно, это, блядь, все универсально.
Госустройство, полиция, армия.
Да, есть кто тебе дает безопасность, есть кто заботится газом, там пожарные, блядь,
Пожарные наши волонтеры.
Само государственное устройство, да, государственных бюрократов и так далее. Да, ты выбрал эту страну, ты приехал туда, хотя у тебя есть свобода выбора страны. Ты можешь выбрать любую страну, но ты приехал туда. Почему? Потому что у тебя есть определенный уровень дохода, определенный уровень жизни, определенный уровень налогов. Тебя все устраивает. Да, и ты сказал, я остаюсь в этой стране, меня это устраивает. То же самое и здесь получается, когда у тебя есть большой рынок, этот рынок поделен. А нахождение самой американской продукции на этом рынке нет, по разным сложившимся обстоятельствам.
I don't think you should delete it. I think it's a really valuable source of oppositional talking points because basically they give you the compression of what the mainstream media puts out. So, and plus their own form and spin. I mean, it's like raw audio. It's interesting in the sense that AI could never create this, but from like a recording perspective, you're capturing live audio of people's, like when you hear that guy James, Dr. James in Amsterdam, very unique speech, right? Nobody like him on Clown House. So to capture somebody like that, technically I would love to just do the cartoonification of everybody on this app, like the craziest speakers, and just turn them into cartoons. That would be like the ultimate quick reframe to make them to transmute them from garbage to gold, or at least absolutely make it more valuable. That's the goal. But yeah, my YouTube live stream, damn, it's not hitting today, but yesterday I had like over 10,000 views, which was big, but it would be nice if like that was a consistent thing. And there's apparent, I don't know how it works. I don't know how the algorithm gets, starts displaying you. If it's, what I'm saying is, I think if they basically cut your algorithm, it's maybe intentional, where like, I don't know, who knows how many people work at Google that look at live streams and like assign priority or placement, or if it's totally organic and programmatic. I just don't believe it. But if you could have consistent growth, it would be the basis of an actual, online political movement. Unfortunately, you have to pay apparently to play, and there's no other rooms on Clownhouse that are all that interesting.
And do that. I said 100%. And make it be positive while you're on here, that you could hopefully change a little bit. You're not going to change the way they think, but you can, to the people that are listening, they could be like, that makes so much sense.
Adrian, we haven't heard from you. You're in the room just recording, or are you going to give us your point of view?
What was that?
Is this low IQ people speaking shit on Clubhouse? Low IQ dumb people, or is this high IQ dumb people?
I mean, I could read some poetry and bump the IQ of the room up. Is that what you're asking for?
If you wanted to add to the conversation.
Yeah, I can add to the conversation.
Topically.
Just don't troll, bro, because
topically, add to the topic.
Well, I don't have children, but I know people that, I can see it from my parents' perspective. The point is, love is the secret. And if you're willing to sacrifice your children as martyrs for a political movement or a military movement or whatever your strategy is, you're wrong. I mean, that's not logical. And Shahada videos and all the programming that has been going on with all the Palestinians for 20, 30 years has all been murder, suicide, mayhem, chaos, death, and destruction. They are brainwashed people who have done this to themselves. Their media is disastrous. There's no it's fascism. It's a fascism land. It's an Islamic fascism land, and unfortunately, their communication has to change. And I don't know if you've looked at the news, but Bibi and two new cavalry brigades are moving in. I mean, I can post the link, but this is a cataclysmic, climactic, event that's happening, and hopefully the resolution will be soon, and the hostages will be freed.
100% agreed.
Say hello to Rebbe, Sean, and Masri. Welcome to the room.
Yeah,
when you enter, but come on up if you want to add to the conversation.
We'd love to hear from you.
Hey, Masri.
Hi, Jacob, Gaby, how are you doing?
Welcome to the stage. Can you please talk on
Thank you.
the subject? And nobody's going to interrupt you. Usually it's a minute to a minute and a half and 90 seconds, and the stage is yours.
Okay, according to the question, you mean, do you love your children more than you love your dad? Of course. But to be honest,
Sentiment, though, throughout all.
well, let me tell you something. I'm not an extremist, okay? But at the same time, running after death is not a good thing to me. So people who think that suicide operations they do as a shahada, no, that's not shahada, that's suicide.
Thank you.
But yes, it's true, because God himself said in the same Quran that people believe in, according to people who believe in
Dr.
Shahada.
Concrete, hey.
I believe in Shahada, of course, but not every death is a Shahada. I don't go to death and say I'm a Shaheed or a Shahada. No, because God himself said, no self knows where it's going to die, how it's going to die, when it's going to die. So how if someone makes a suicide operation, he chooses when to die, how to die, where to die, then what is Shahada in that? That's not a Shahada. So people who do operations, suicide operations, and say it's Shahada, it's absolutely not. But
Dr. Sasha.
if death
Hey, Dr.
comes
Sasha,
to
you
me
want to come to Chicago and
unwillingly,
get
and I
some
have
dinner
no other
sometime?
choice but fighting,
I know you want to
then I
get
have
some
no
dinner
other
sometime.
choice.
Let's go get a steak and have a
At that time,
cocktail.
if I die as a
Hi,
Shaheed,
Dr.
as I
Sasha.
die, I defend myself, I defend my land, I defend my family, I defend a soul. That is Shahada. Other than that, it is not.
So if you're given a warning, even if it's 1 minute, will you run to protect your family, or will you stay and fight with your family?
I tell you something here. Prophet Muhammad, someone came to him, peace be upon him, and told him, right, please, Prophet, I want to fight with you so I can have this Shahada in case I die. He told him, do you have a family? Do you have a mother? Yes. Then he said, go, she deserves your exist more than coming with us. So in that case, my family is more worth to go and protect them.
Is that in the Quran or is it a hadith?
No, this is a hadith.
Okay.
And the hadith or the sunnah is a completion of the Quran.
But it's just as legally binding, right?
Legally binding, I don't understand that.
It's a law. It's like a law. You should follow that. You should.
Yes, of course. Anything that comes in the Quran's first place and the sunnah which completes the Quran second place, and of course I must follow it. It's the model.
Is there anything in the Quran that says you should preserve life at all costs?
Give me an example.
We have the Hebrew term "kuaf nefesh," which is to save a life. Like you could violate every law of Shabbos. You could drive on Shabbos. You could do whatever it takes to get someone to a hospital to help them out. Like, do you have that concept? I'm assuming you do.
You mean saving someone's life?
Yes, it's paramount to say, regardless of breaking every law of the Quran to save someone's life.
of course, saving someone's life. There's in the Quran itself, God said that who kills a soul unfair as he killed every human being, and who survives a soul in fair or injustice as he survived all human beings. That's in the Quran.
Thank you.
Thanks. Sounds reasonable, I believe.
So does everybody here just believe in stopping wars, through peace and harmony and joy?
No, war is war. I've never seen a peaceful war. Have you?
No. I'm just saying, if we were to theorize on how to create peace, how would we do that?
I think that's what Israel's doing right now, right? To try to get rid of the terrorists, get back the hostages. It's because they want peace. And I think that's all they ever wanted was just peace.
Yeah, returning the hostages would be a good step forward towards creating goodwill for possible peace. It's a great idea. That's a theory.
I didn't even come up with that by myself either.
Welcome back to another episode of Low IQ Dumb People talking about nothing, wasting all their time. Dr. Sasha, is there something you'd like to say, Dr. Sasha?
Hostages back?
Pardon? Can you please reframe that? Reframe that question.
Do you really think that what Israel is doing nowadays will really bring the hostages back?
I think they're doing two things. I think they're trying to remain, to have security in Israel, while trying to accomplish getting back the hostages. So I think they're trying to secure its borders, secure its country, protect its civilians. Remember, it's not just Jews that live inside Israel. There's Muslims, Christians, Druze. There's a bunch of different faiths and religions and creeds and walks of all life in Israel. They're protecting them. They're not saying, hey, we're only protecting the Jews. The Muslims.
What's the actual number? Do you know? Is it like 1.2 million? How many non-Jews live in Israel?
20% of 10 million, about 2 million.
No, it's actually 28%.
No,
72% is of Jews, and I would maybe.
So millions of people.
I'm ChatGPT. I looked at this a few months ago.
Well, Mastery. So, what do you think? That Israel should tell the Muslims and Christians to stay on one side and then let the missiles hit them, or do you think Israel's doing a great job of protecting its civilians while trying to get back the hostages that are in Gaza? Do you think that's okay that Gaza's holding hostages and leading them to starvation, mistreating them, never mind the raping, the burning people alive, the way that the atrocities that you can't even, Steven Spielberg doesn't even make movies that are that bad.
Well, baby, I'm sorry, but it seems as that there is mixing here. I don't know if you agree with me or not.
Are you denying that people got murdered the way that they did on October 7th and that this is a retaliatory action from Israel? Put it like this. Let me ask you then, because I think you're going to have a problem answering it. So, in your home, there's no power in the city, and you have a beautiful family, and they come first, like you said, preserve life. Life is number one. And there's a group of thugs, and fortunately for you, you have firearms in your home to protect your family. There's no power. There's nobody you can call for help. And people are starting to, you can see with your flashlight, or you can see their flashlights in the distance coming closer to your house. And they start, shooting or throwing fire bombs. And they get a hold of, God forbid this never ever happens. I hope, with all of God's help, you always live a peaceful life. But this never ever happens. This is just a hypothetical. But they get closer to your house and they end up hitting a family member of yours, that somebody you love. And
it's like, I think everything is like a prank show. The more serious you try to make.
Remember, now you need to preserve life
the
at all costs.
conversation, the more of
and then now you're shooting back at them, because if you don't shoot, because you have a bunch of firearms, right? Then
now are going to be used as weapons, right? Because firearms are firearms, but weapons are used for violence, right? So you're going to be using these now firearms, turn them into weapons to protect your family. Are you the bad guy now because you've killed a couple of the people that were trying to kill your family?
As I responded to your, sorry.
I always like to correct myself when I'm wrong. I don't know where I got that from. Because it used to stick in my head. It was 80%, 74% of Israel's Jewish, 21% are Arab, and 5% are other. So, excuse me, baby.
No problem. But yeah, so would you protect your family at all costs? And now are you the bad guy because you killed? Say you got lucky, and there's like 50 out there. There's only 8 of you in the house, right? And they got 1, or maybe they're about to get 2. But you now killed like 10 of them. Are you now the bad guy? Because you killed 10 people that tried to kill your family. They successfully hurt 2 people, hypothetically. Are you the bad guy, or are you doing good to protect your family? I'm just curious what your thought would be on that.
Objectively, as I responded to your question, objectively, I'm not a bad guy when I protect my family.
Perfect.
But yes, but at the same time, baby, you mentioned so many things, and so many things are missing to each
I'm
other.
looking at the chat. I didn't look at even the beginning. 1 hour ago, you wished me good morning.
They took, and I don't want to use
Danny means Chota.
Say you have an animal.
Oh, gross.
They took an animal,
Shabbat
right?
Chota.
A dog that you love. He's part of your
Oh,
family.
look at Buddy, you mean Chota. Oh, no.
And
Where's Throb? He gets it.
some of them are running away.
Soul as
It's
well.
always a tough decision to go through instincts.
That dog is a soul
Sometimes I
as
say
well.
I won't show it, but I do
100%.
anyway.
That's what
There's
I don't want
years
to.
of
I
way
don't
to
want
get
ever
into
to victims take your children.
sense.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't want
Control
to do
freak
that, right?
behavior.
But they took a
Does
soul.
he just kick your ass?
Okay, they took
You
a
put the
soul
play-by-play
from
in
your
the chat.
and they're walking away with this soul on the back of a bicycle. And they're
Jesse,
leaving.
Chris, what text?
What happens? And you're trying to get, like, would you fight at all costs to try and get that soul back?
Yep, thanks.
But I
Thanks,
totally
Daniel.
understand.
Keep it up.
what
Keep
you
up the
say,
good
and
work, bro.
I believe that I
Great
agree
work.
with you. But if
I mean, if you got any other, you know,
if someone
technically we
attacks
need
my
a
family,
snitch line on this
I
app.
should attack back
Same
or
way that
defend
Clown
my
House has a
family from
snitch line.
people
We need
who
our own
attack,
snitch line.
from the abusers.
God, you know what? I'm gonna use one of my Google telephone numbers and create a room called Clubhouse Snitch Line. Text this number.
And when someone protects himself, family here, as Israel is trying to protect himself, as you say, but do you expect that the other people will stay still? Well, at the same time, here they have the right to defend themselves as well. Then why you call them as a terrorist?
So, if you have a problem, so I think we're going somewhere positive here. Hold on. Mastery, I think we're doing something positive here. So you agree that you have a right to protect yourself, and then you also believe that but then you believe that they have a right to protect themselves as well, right? So
absolutely, but I don't see that protection. What I see here is not protection. What I see here is mass punishment against so many people. Just because I have a problem with Hamas, then I fight everyone who speaks the same language, who lives in the same area. Does that mean that all people in Gaza are Hamas? Of course not. I totally agree with you. We have a common ground here. Every country has the right to defend itself. But if I defend myself against the attacker, then that's the right. But if I involve some innocent people, that's the wrong thing here.
So now that attacker now runs into a city with that soul that he took from your house, and that attacker's with now 15 people, and he's running, and you got a clear shot, but you're using a shotgun. So you're not going to be able to just hit him because it's a shotgun. It's going to be a spread. So you're going to end up, you could save that soul from getting further into the dungeon, right? By shooting at
that's not a clear shot.
Exactly. So you don't take the shot, you let that soul evaporate.
Okay, Billy, let's have example on the ground here. When the pager thing happened, it was very smart operation, by the way. But of course, I feel pity for the people who are involved as children. But if you get Hassan Nasrallah, just Hassan Nasrallah, okay, fine. This is Hassan Nasrallah and people who are around him as the protector and the offender, like him. But what about the other people? What about the neighbors? No, you call yourself the most professional army in the world. Where is professionalism in that? When you get some innocent people are involved, that's my problem. There's no personality here. If I have a problem with Hamas, then I go and attack Hamas.
You know, haven't you heard the expression, nothing's fair in love and war? I mean, you're complaining.
What do you mean?
Haven't you played chess? It's a chess game. It's to the end.
But it's a chess game.
Why don't Hamas wear uniform, Masri?
But that doesn't mean that okay, Yov, it's a very good question. But at the same time, you wanted to
embed themselves in the population, right?
It doesn't play like that. Because at the same time, they're how can I say, recording every person in Gaza is in the system which is open to the Israeli authorities. So Israel is going to be very professional and very accurate by knowing all the people who belong to Hamas and can get them. And if it is not 100%, at least it's going to be 95% accuracy.
Where do you get 95 in a war? Where? And this is a war where people wear uniform.
The 95% is very clear. The Israeli army has satellites, has intelligence, has full assistance from the most developed countries, UK and USA. So it means that they are more steps forward than Hamas.
That's a irrelevant argument.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
You are wrong, because you can't have 95% accuracy when they embed themselves in schools, in mosques, in hospitals. They do it deliberately so their people will get hurt. They don't care about their own people. They want casualties.
So, if you find a member of Hamas in a hospital, you will destroy the whole hospital for just one or two members?
When we did destroy a whole hospital?
I'm asking you a direct question. It is yes or no. If you find the members, limited number of members of Hamas in a hospital.
I'll answer for him. If they're shooting missiles from the hospital, I'm sorry, the hospital's got to go.
Yeah, I agree. I will destroy all the hospital. I will destroy all the hospital.
Fine.
You know, so they will learn. Next time, the civilians won't be inside the hospital. Or the Hamas won't be inside the hospital because they are not safe there. So we actually saving the future people.
You want them to learn a lesson here that you are.
Exactly.
Okay, and at the same time you say that you don't care about the people, then what is the
next time
about that?
Well, they don't care about their people if they're shooting missiles from hospitals, and there's plenty of shows it.
Well, I totally disagree. I'm sorry.
Okay.
It doesn't mean that I destroy a whole city or a whole building was involved with innocent people just for limited numbers of people whom I am attacking. I'm sorry. I disagree. Because at the same time, they are going to do the same.
Of course you don't disagree. Of course.
And of course, if you give yourself the right, I'm sorry, if you give yourself the right to do something against people, so they have the same right to do it against you.
The people in Israel, they attacked were not no soldier were inside the villages or in the party.
They were at a party. Right. They were at a concert and they were in their kibbutz. They were in a hospital.
Exactly. So what?
You want to send me $1?
Just don't give yourself the right to do something in the name of defense. And when
You can send me $1 if you want. I think. Let me see what my Cash App is.
We're the artillery. I will destroy the whole area.
Destroying the whole area is a good option. At the same time, they have the right to defend themselves here.
Okay, Master, you're from. Are you from Egypt?
Yes, Justine.
Yeah. Okay, so your country wouldn't do that.
Yeah, it's John Z. Kitover.
I don't know why you were defending
Send me $1.
Hamas because
versus a militia, like that's
right. And I think that they're bound to international. They're not because
good luck.
It's like comparing a gang.
Reminds me, I gotta get the fuck off this app.
They're very similar to native indigenous people. They have their own land that they govern, Hamas, right? And they have their own self-governance, right? But what happens is they're not bound to the laws of international rules of law. Like Matri, the country you're from, Egypt, could never do that. It could never do what Hamas is doing. So you shouldn't defend them, because I know your country would not do something like that.
Defend them, Justine. Where did I defend them? I'm talking about civilians. I'm talking about innocent people.
I support exactly the Palestinian people.